Have you ever thought of wrapping pork in more pork? Yeah, that's just one of the innovative creations of executive chef Mike Price, who is owner of Manhattan's Market Table Restaurant, and here to show us some of his favorite recipes. Good morning, Chef. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So before we get to the pork extravaganza, which I'm looking forward to, let's start with the side dish. What are we having as a side dish?
We're going to make a toasted orzo quote-unquote risotto.
What is orzo for people who don't know?
Orzo is basically a rice-shaped pasta.
Okay.
So it's not actually a grain, it's a pasta, but it's made into the shape of rice.
So that's why you call it risotto, because it looks like rice.
It looks like rice, and we also are going to finish it with some risotto-like items, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of tomato, some basil.
Okay.
But the first step is what we're going to do is we're going to toast the orzo in butter, which gives it a really nice kind of nutty flavor to it. You can really get a nice aroma, almost if you were like making rice-a-roni.
Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like because of the brown coloring.
The brown color, you toast it in butter first. And then we're going to add a little bit of diced onions.
Okay.
A little bit of sizzle. We're going to cook that for a little bit. And then we're going to add about
incredible.
2 cups or so of chicken stock.
Oh, so that's a lot. That's a lot of chicken stock. All right.
The orzo is going to absorb all that, and between steam and coming out, and we're going to
be pure flavor.
Pure flavor, and we're going to season that with just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
And bring it to a nice boil.
Great. And this goes very well with the pork that we're going to make?
It goes great with the pork. We're going to have some olives and tomato in there. We're wrapping the pork in pancetta, all kind of Mediterranean flavors.
So you're wrapping pork in pancetta, so you're wrapping pork with pork.
That's correct.
All right, I like it already.
It's a pork tenderloin, so you can see it's pretty lean in fat. So what we're going to do is add some more fat back to that meat, and we're going to do that in the form of pancetta.
This is Hampshire pork. If I go to the butcher, do I just say that, or do I just say pork tenderloin? Same thing?
If you can get the Hampshire pork tenderloin, that'd be great.
That's
Berkshire pork tenderloin is also really good. They're both breeds of pork that came over from England that are still pure breeds here in America. They're really, really great.
Can you show me how you wrap it?
Sure. What we do is take the pancetta. It's in a naturally kind of round shape.
And that's Italian bacon, right?
Italian bacon, that's correct. So what we're going to do is kind of elongate that pancetta. It's really nice to have it room temperature so it's kind of pliable. And we're going to put the pork right on top and just kind of roll around.
That is perfection.
And then we're going to do the same thing with another piece of bacon.
And so on and so on until it looks like that.
Until it looks like that.
You didn't season it?
Not yet.
Oh, you season it after?
I'm going to season the outside of the meat. The pancetta naturally has a lot of salt to it, so we're going to go a little bit light on the salt and pepper.
Makes sense.
So we're going to go ahead and season that with salt and pepper.
After you wrap it, you season it a little bit.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. That's all it needs, huh?
All it needs. It's really about the natural pork flavor, the pancetta. It's all going to sear. It's going to be great. Nice and crispy on the outside. A little bit of oil in the pan. Hot skillet.
Let's listen for that magic sound.
The magic sound of the sear.
All good. So after you sear it, you get it nice and brown on both sides.
Nice and brown on the...
You put it in the oven?
That's exactly right. We're going to go ahead and toss that in the oven.
Okay.
What we have is we have one that's here. It's already ready, coming out of the oven.
Spectacular. How long do you put it in there?
After you brown it on both sides, you're talking about another 5 or 6 minutes or so.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it's not going to be too long. It's not a really, really thick cut of meat. And we want to keep it kind of a medium temperature.
Okay. And here's the orzo as
Here's
well?
the orzo. You can see most of the liquid is absorbed. We're going to finish that with a little bit of...
You had the orzo in the oven too?
The orzo was in the oven.
Oh, okay.
Once this comes to a boil, you can toss that in the oven, and that can kind of... It just helps really absorb the liquid a little bit faster.
And that was Parmesan cheese you put in?
Parmesan cheese, a little bit of fresh basil.
Oh.
We got some fresh homemade tomato sauce we're going to put in there.
Oh, you're killing me, Mike.
Some fresh Kalamata olives.
Okay. All right, let's get some on a plate real quick before we run out of time, because we got to taste this.
We're going to taste it. A little baby spinach at the end.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just to kind of wilt it in there.
All right, go ahead, Chef.
All right.
All right. We're going to start tasting this. This is what a finished plate looks like right here.
Finished plate right there.
It's beautiful. And then we have, what do you have for dessert real quick?
For dessert, we have a wonderful 3-berry and rhubarb crisp. And then the crisp is made with grape nuts on top of it, which is a really interesting texture, especially when you serve it with ice cream, whether it be...
grape nuts, like the cereal grape nuts?
Grape nuts like the cereal, and I mix that with oatmeal and a little bit of butter, some brown sugar, and bake it right on top of the berries, and it's wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chef.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.